I didn't choose to be a trans woman. I chose to transition because it was a matter of life and death for me.
How did your teammates react, right? Because, I mean,
Yeah.
that's also very close unit.
In the cricketing players or cricketing friends that I have, no one really speaks to me. I think since they found out about me, Sarfaraz has been in touch every now and then, but I haven't heard from anyone else. I also thought that I'll try to suppress these emotions, stay on antidepressants, do whatever I have to, but I'll play cricket. Maybe I'll eventually play IPL. I also started hating the sport because the world that I live in doesn't stand or support for what I am. Gender is not about what's in your pants. Gender is how you feel about yourself.
On one end, you celebrate the athletes, you celebrate the sport. Second end, somebody like Spriti Mandana, her marriage is all over the news. Do you think with women especially in leadership positions, it's so easy to forget the achievements and then focus on the noise?
In India, cricket is religion.
Yeah.
So people basically worship you if you're winning and playing for the country.
Forget winning the World Cup is
Exactly.
the biggest, yeah.
So no matter what you do, there's gonna be noise. Cricket was just a part of my life. Being an athlete is a part of my life. It's what I do. Transition or a trans woman is what I am, but a cricketer and athlete is what I do.
Weight of the surname of who your father is.
It is a privilege and it is a curse at the same time.
What do you see as this is my ideal life and I'm living it?
My ideal life, again, it would be winning the World Cup for the Indian team for the next World Cup, hopefully. Maybe doing a movie as well at the same time. And just living a normal life as a goal.
Welcome to Real and Anaya. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, to be honest. Like, after the reality show, of course, like, I've grown a lot as a person and become much more comfortable in my journey as well of transitioning and playing cricket and whatever else comes along with it.
Right. And you're the first openly transitioned, like in a sense that you're so vocal about your
Yeah.
journey, which is so refreshing because these are not things that people are comfortable with. You
Yes.
exactly said the word comfortable. So what brought you here?
What brought me here is my purpose, to be honest, because I've lived a life which was dealt with a lot of rejection, a lot of exclusion, and I'm just trying to make the most of whatever I have in my life and be my best self out there, whether it would be on the pitch or at the shoot set or wherever else it comes.
Yeah. At what point did you decide that this is a decision that I need to make? कि मुझे ये करना ही होगा.
So the feeling started when I was 8 or 9 years old, wearing my mom's clothes, hiding and dressing up and just looking at myself in the mirror and thinking that why wasn't I born a girl? Like, I used to envy all the women out there who could just be women. And for the longest time, I hated myself for that. I tried to suppress that. I tried to let the society dictate how I should live my life. And there came a point during a cricket match that too, where I was playing an under 23 Mumbai selection match and Arjun Tendulkar was batting. And I was standing on covers. So when he hit the ball and I tried to dive and stop the ball, I ended up breaking this bone. So after that point, there were a lot of instances, a lot of antidepressants, a lot of therapy going on for me to try to get rid of that side of me or this side of me which I'm living right now. And it never worked. Nothing worked. Like, I was the stereotypical boy who had everything, who had all the privileges, who had a promising life ahead. But just the alignment that I didn't have from within made everything else not worth it for me. And that's when I decided that after I broke my hand is I can't go ahead with this life and I just need to transition, because transition for me isn't a choice, it was a mode of survival.
कि मुझे ये करना ही है.
Yes, करना ही है और भी ऑप्शन ही नहीं रह गया. मैंने बहुत कुछ ट्राई कर लिया, सब कुछ ट्राई किया and nothing worked for me. And that's when I decided कि I'll do this and here I am.
I'm sure it wasn't as easy, but
Yes.
when you did decide कि ये मुझे करना ही है।
हाँ.
आपने पहले किससे बताया?
To be honest, there were a few very close friends during that time who I very cherish for their presence in my life. But during that time, I did come out to my friends. I didn't come out to my family because my family is very conservative. My father is very conservative himself. He has a very traditional mindset in terms of how the world should be. So I was quite scared to come out to them because I thought ki if I come out to them, will they abandon me? Will I be kicked out of my place? Will I be accepted within my family, loved within my family as my true self? Yeah, I came out to my friends, and out of that fear of not being accepted by my family, I told my dad that I want to go to UK to study and get my master's degree there. So I didn't come out to him during that time because I thought कि उधर जाके वहाँ पे NHS का system है जहाँ पे you can transition with the help of the government.
Okay.
So
As in,
the government will fund the transition basically.
Oh, okay.
So they have the what do you call this system set up for people like me, like people from the community, who you can get help from in terms of mental health support, medically transition, and everything. So I thought, I'll go to UK. I'll get my master's degree. I'll get a job and try to live a normal life there. And if cricket happens, it happens. Like cricket wasn't even the thought in my head during that time. So I did that. I went to UK for the first year. I didn't tell this to anyone. I basically was socially transitioning, like cross dressing and expressing myself, changing my pronouns. I hadn't started medically transitioning yet. And I remember when I stepped out dressed as myself for the first time, I was very scared. I was scared walking down the street and people looking at me in a funny way, like so many eyes on me. तो वो तो एक बहुत ही लाइक हार्ड सिचुएशन था, बट जो अंदर से खुशी मिल रही थी वो तो कुछ और ही थी. एंड भले ही बाहर की दुनिया आके मुझे कुछ भी देखे, कुछ भी बोले, वो बाहर में जाए यार, मैं तो खुद के जैसे जीने के लिए आई हूँ यहाँ पे. और दैट फीलिंग ओनली केप्ट मी गोइंग फॉर दिस लॉन्ग. सो या.
What were you wearing that first time?
To be honest, I started slow. I started wearing basic tops and like jeans, but I think those are called mom jeans if I'm correct. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I bought for the first time, and that's how I started like socially transitioning, coming out in the university. And तभी भी university में there were people who were laughing or questioning like what's going on. Because for the first month I was still scared. So in the university as well, for the first month I was still scared and presenting myself as a boy. Because I didn't have the guts to or the courage to just step outside as myself. But धीरे धीरे करके from a few friends का support from India as well, like I could do that, and I just kept on being myself openly more and more. Although I understood ki like once I did that, the world around me has changed a lot, and as of this moment as well, it's still changing. Because I think I've just been transitioning for the past 3 years, counting social transition as well. So it's very hard to navigate this life, right? But I just couldn't be more happier.
Yeah. कब डिसाइड किया कि ओके मैंने ये ईज इनटू किया है, बट नाउ वो स्टेप जो मेडिकल ट्रांजिशनिंग का है वो अभी लेते हैं, बिकॉज दैट्स अ वेरी परमानेंट, मतलब आप रिवर्स नहीं कर सकते काइंड ऑफ मूव. सो व्हेन डिड यू डिसाइड दैट?
So I'll come back to the previous question as well. So क्या हुआ था, 1 year happened of me staying in UK, and I decided कि I want to medically transition now. But I didn't want to do it without telling my parents, because I was really needing support during that time, because I didn't know how to navigate everything at the same time, handling my career, life, giving up cricket, and also financially transitioning as well. So my dad was part of RCB during that time. He was coaching the team, and I came out to my mom. My mom was very shocked, very sad. She was emotional, like she was crying basically, and I tried to explain this to her that I'm still a child regardless of my gender changing or not. But Although I can understand where she comes from. She's seen a boy grow up for so many years, and now that same person is coming her and telling her this. So I could understand, and I told her not to tell dad for a while because I wanted mom to first ease into the feelings of it, and then maybe me and mom both can tell my dad about this because IPL का भी pressure रहता है, him being the coach as well. But she couldn't handle it, and my dad started noticing that. So my dad called me. We spoke on video call.
आप तभी भी यूके में ही थे?
Yes, I was in UK during that time. So my dad video called me. He was like, mom's been very emotional, like what's been up? And mom's like, just ask me about this. So that's when I told him. I came out to him, I told him that like I'm a trans woman and I want to transition. And for the longest time I've had these feelings, and I've been in the UK socially, coming out as a girl and staying as a girl. So my dad paused for a bit, I think for a few seconds. And that's when he told me to come back to India. We'll go to doctors and see what this is about. And I agreed to that because in nowhere in the world you can transition without having any doctor's clarification from psychiatrists, counselors, and multiple people. So I came back to India. My whole family and me went to the doctors. They got my mental health checkups done. They got everything done. So they diagnosed me with gender dysphoria. And gender dysphoria, again, is not a mental illness, it's a real thing. So people tend to think that this is a mental illness, or
It can be cured, so to speak.
it can be cured. There's no such thing. It's just how you are and who you are. I didn't choose to be a trans woman. I chose to transition because it was a matter of life and death for me. Because over the years, I always had feelings of mutilation. There were scissors involved, like getting rid of my genitals, all of that. And it was very hard for me to navigate that. But yeah, after the doctors basically gave me that letter, although my parents are still taking the time to completely come around it, although it's getting much better now, during that time I could sense that they're not comfortable with it. But they also understood that I'm an adult and I'm making my own decision, so they can't really stop me. So as soon as I got that letter on my hand, I was reading it, and I just had a smile on my face. I had a smile on my face like, अब फाइनली स्टार्ट होगा. इतने साल से इतना स्ट्रगल किया है, दुनिया से छुप के रहना पड़ रहा है, अभी जाके कुछ तो कर पाऊँगी. लाइक आई कैन स्टार्ट हॉर्मोन्स नाउ. सो I got my first dosage of hormones, and before starting hormones as well, I needed to make sure that in the future, if I want to be a parent, I need to keep that option open. And if I were to transition medically, I biologically won't be able to produce or have babies. So I decided to freeze my sperm before starting medically transitioning, before starting hormones. And for that, I didn't have any support financially for that because everyone in the family was quite against it. So I had my cricket savings from the state level cricket I played for under 16 Mumbai, under 19 Pondicherry. And I had those savings, and I had that invested somewhere in stocks, so they were multiplying over the time, which also gave me some financial support for myself. So from that money, I did laser hair removals. I did the sperm freezing, and December of 2023, I started my hormone replacement therapy. So after starting that, I knew that my parents would still need more time to come around and adjust to it, and it'd be best that if there will be some space between me and my parents. So I spoke to my parents saying that I want to go back to UK. And after going back to UK, like my dad basically told me that he's going to support me for the 2 months, but after that I have to figure my own way out, which I agreed to. Like, I had a lot of like fire in me, I would say, and I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, but it's just going to make me stronger. So I took that decision. I went back to UK. There I managed to find a cricket club who'll let me stay at their dressing room, and I can play club matches for them, and they'll pay me £100 a week. So I did that for the first 6 months, but during that period, none of my relatives or close friends spoke to me that much or really talked to me. My parents were in touch with me every now and then, but yeah, that's how it went. And the dressing room also wasn't a very good space to live in, and I live a privileged life here in Mumbai. I come from a posh house, a posh background, I would say. So for me to like basically like be at the top of the food chain to completely not having anyone was a lot to learn and lot to digest as well at the same time. So I was staying at a few friends from India who had come to UK to study at their places. I stayed in Manchester for the week, and for the weekends I used to travel by train and stay in the dressing room for the cricket matches. So that's how I managed to do that, and I also supported myself by doing a job of a waitress. So I remember like I was working at a race course there, and I was serving drinks to table of men, and they were basically mocking me, making fun of me, because I wasn't looking as passable, I would say, as I am now. I was in a very awkward phase in terms of how I looked, because um, from a boy to a girl, when you transition, it's very visible, and the world doesn't treat them the right way, or they don't understand where it comes from. But yeah,
You're really strong.
thank you.
How did your teammates react, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
that's also very close unit. जब आप कोई sport
हाँ.
खेलते हो, आपकी team बहुत ही tight knit होती है.
Yes.
You played with, like you mentioned, Arjun Tendulkar. There was Yashasvi Jaiswal. There
Yeah.
was also Sarfaraz, who obviously now in the male cricket team.
Yeah.
How did that kind of go for you?
They didn't know anything about this. I didn't tell this to them until I publicly came out. And I think since they found out about me, Sarfaraz has been in touch every now and then, but I haven't heard from anyone else. Because I think what I'm standing for in terms of my cricketing career and the fight that I have, no one's gonna really be there if they're associated with the cricketing committees that I'm trying to prove a point about, or have a space of understanding with them. So I think I also understand where they come from, but it also hurts at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the weight of the surname or who your father is? Because, you know, there's one thing
Yeah.
when you do this unknowingly, like in the
Yes.
sense like nobody knows you. So it's kind of more confined
Easier, yeah.
as opposed to ki, this is going to be public and this is going to be news because of
Yeah.
the name involved. Was that a factor for you to like rethink or say that, let me try everything else?
Yes, that's what went behind me taking that decision as well, that I'll try everything else. I also thought that I'll try to suppress these emotions, stay on antidepressants, do whatever I have to, but I'll play cricket. Maybe I'll eventually play IPL and then have those earnings and use that earnings for my transition. But it just got so bad that it started affecting how I played. It started affecting my relationships. It started affecting everything about me, and I just couldn't like let go of anything. I tried my best for all of it, but वैसा कुछ हो ही नहीं पाया. So in the cricketing players or cricketing friends that I have, no one really speaks to me.
Must be tough.
Yeah, it is tough, but I've also learned to have my own circle or have my own space. and it's a blessing and it's a tough situation at the same time, because I've through all these hard times I've learned to live with myself and face myself and just like pat myself on the back when no one else is going to.
Yeah.
So answering your question about the Bangar surname, it is a privilege and it is a curse at the same time, because that's one of the reasons which made me decide to go to the UK, because I know if I were to transition here, it's going to be in public, it's going to be
Yeah.
everywhere. And the decision that I took to come out publicly as well was out of lack of support. I didn't have support for surgeries. I was begging my father to help me out with surgeries, because it'll be really life changing for me. But he was still taking his time to just to understand what this is about and accept me. And where I was suffering here, I could understand where he comes from. I thought that I need to do something now, because I can't live like this. I can't stay alone in UK. And I knew that I when I post the reel, it's gonna go viral. It's something will happen out of it. So there was some hope that if something happens from that, maybe I'll build myself on Instagram, maybe I'll get some brand collabs, and after doing that I can finally get my surgeries which I have to. And I came out, it blew up, it was everywhere, but my parents were quite against me coming out. They weren't okay with me being on social media, but I just was telling them that I'm going to do this regardless of it, and I kept on posting content till April, and I came back. I landed back here in April, so that was another reason. And when my parents also saw me at the airport when I landed, I like
Was your transition complete when you landed?
no, I was on hormones for 1 year, 2 months at that time. So, but the hormonal changes that I also had were quite
Evident.
evident, noticeable. So, I remember when my dad first saw me as I was walking up to him, he he was looking at me. I guess he didn't recognize me because I was wearing a cap as well at the same time. He looked at me, he looked away, he didn't notice me. But as I took a few more steps in, he saw that it's me and he took a step back. I saw that, and when me and him met as well, there was an awkward moment where he's supposed to shake my hand or he's supposed to hug me. But I just went in for the hug and I hugged my mom and my granddad as well. It was a very tough moment for everyone, but yeah.
Did the good things that you thought could happen, right? You get these followers, or people will know about your journey, and then maybe
Yeah.
there could be an advertisement that will kind of
Yes.
help you financially. Did that happen?
It happened after I landed back here in April. Saurabh Dwivedi reached out to me on Instagram and he told me, let's do an interview. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I flew to Delhi. I again paid for my own flights and everything from my cricket savings. I gave that interview and that interview did really well. That interview, I think, shaped or basically showed what my journey was. And that was kind of like a second breaking point in terms of first me coming out publicly and second people hearing my story at the same time. And I also know that in cricket no one else is doing what I'm doing. My life, what I've lived, in a way the universe has also handed me something that I have a purpose about. And I think my purpose is to stand for my rights, and not just on a inclusive basis but on a science based fair inclusive way that I would put the best.
Yeah. At what point did you say, okay, I'm going to go back to cricket? Because, I mean, that's what you've
Yeah.
done, right? You've played cricket. Obviously, now, wo alag hota. You would have
Yes.
to be part of a different team.
Yeah.
When did you realize, okay, let's do that?
To be honest, deep down, I always wanted to play cricket. Of course, like, I've seen my dad's paintings on the wall growing up. He's trained me since the age of 3. And I always wanted to play, like, but there was transition in the middle. There was everything else happening in the middle, and I didn't have any other option but to give up cricket. And I also started hating the sport because the world that I live in doesn't stand or support for what I am. So it just made me hate the sport. But as I was transitioning, I was getting more and more happier, starting to align with myself more and more. The hurt, the dysphoria ka hurt, the misalignment ka hurt, the body image issues ka hurt started to die down a little, slow down a little, bit by bit, bit by bit, and the the want to play cricket was still there. So I think I don't just want to make my journey about transitioning and myself. I want it to be something that the upcoming generations will use it for. Basically, I want to be the bridge for people like me in the future.
When you began, what was the journey like? Like, how do you even approach the situation? You know, like, who did you speak to? What happened? What was the process?
Again, if you want to start transitioning, you like, अगर आपको transition भी करना है तो ऐसे नहीं कि आपने decide कर लिया और अगले दिन उठ के okay I'm going to start pills, मैंने surgeries करा दी है. इसका एक process रहता है. First off, you need to have gender dysphoria as well. You need to be diagnosed with it by a psychiatrist or a psychologist in order to do so. एंड ऐसे आप एक दिन उठ के डिसाइड नहीं कर दिए कि एक दिन उठ के आपने टेस्ट करा लिए तो आपको क्लैरिफिकेशन मिल जाएगी. इसके पीछे थेरेपी रहती है 6 महीने की, एंटी डिप्रेसेंट्स भी रहते हैं एंड लॉट ऑफ काउंसलिंग एज वेल एट द सेम टाइम. तो you start off with that, then you can start off with clothing as well before medical transitioning.
The process to participate in the female cricket team.
Yes.
What was that process?
Okay, about that. So, before the 2023 ban of ICC, ICC already had rules set up for trans women to play in the women's category professionally. All they had to undergo a process which was mandatory of suppressing their testosterone levels for a minimum of 12 months, which reduces your athletic capabilities on another level. And after doing that, I think Daniel McGahey, the player, the Canadian trans women player, who was the first trans woman to actually play Women's World Cup, she played, and I think the stereotype that you also have about trans women outperforming women on a general basis is false, because Daniel McGahey played 5 matches during that tournament and she scored 150 runs. So this so-called advantage or stereotype that you have in your head is just, I can understand for the masses and the public where they come from. They don't have any education or awareness about this. They just think कि आपने क्रॉस ड्रेस कर लिया और आप डिसाइड कर रहे हो आप लड़की हो तो आप आके खेल रहे हो वुमेन्स स्पोर्ट में. बट ऐसा नहीं होता. लाइक no one transitions to invade women's spaces. We are women at the end of it. Like, we are a minority, that too. There was no process because while I was transitioning, I was already banned. So ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने सोचा है कि ओके मेरे को इवेंचुअली वुमेन्स क्रिकेट में चांस मिलेगा तो आई विल डू दिस, आई विल ट्रांजिशन एंड देन मेरे को कुछ हुआ तो हुआ. वैसे transitioning was always there. Cricket was just a part of my life. Being an athlete is a part of my life. It's what I do. Transition or a trans woman is what I am, but a cricketer and athlete is what I do. So after knowing all this and after actually going through those changes myself, being on hormone replacement therapy, I could understand how drastically my body is changing because the way I recovered changed. My muscle mass decreased, my body fat redistribution increased, my weight increased, my stamina decreased. And I could notice all of that. Like I was playing cricket at one point and the balls that hit on me as well, they started bruising much easier. My pain tolerance reduced. And I understood that this is a real thing. And I reached out to Dr. Blair Hamilton from Manchester University during that point, and she was actually doing tests and conducting tests about trans athletes' performance after being on hormone replacement therapy for 1 year. So after I came out publicly, the I collabed with Manchester University. They did tests on my body starting from January. And during that test, it was a 12-week testing. I have also posted the reports on my social media and I've spoken about it on other news channels as well. So they did tests on my body, my hemoglobin levels, my glucose levels, I think, and blood oxygen levels, lung capacity. They all fit within the cisgender female athlete range. So, what I'm standing upon, or what I'm fighting for, or what I'm trying to be vocal about is that not everyone has an unfair advantage. But let's say agar Shoaib Akhtar decides to transition tomorrow and play women's cricket, of course there's going to be an unfair advantage there. All I'm asking for is performance markers based by women's cricketers can be set up, and let's say we pick the strongest like sprinting speed or strength, or I'm not an expert in the science field, but basically picking performance markers, having those two markers set, and if a trans person who has transitioned, who has shown all the records, shown all the evidence of transitioning, then why can't they have an opportunity to play if they fit within that certain marker, if they're not exceeding that, and if that were also to be so. What I'm trying to say is that if even I'm were to be excluded from that marker, if I, after going through all this, have an unfair advantage, then it's okay. I don't mind not being included or not being part of the team. All I'm asking is for fairness. And another issue on that is ICC then changed their rules to stating that if you go through male puberty, you're and then you transition, then you're not allowed to play. But I don't think any country in this world at this geopolitical stage allows anyone to transition under that unless and until they're 18. So what is one supposed to do? You can't even take puberty blockers. You can't do all of that. But then there's this rule coming, which is another loophole, I think, where you basically set up a rule stating that you can't transition until and unless you haven't gone through puberty. But there are no rules or there's no stage only for me. If I were to realize myself that I'm a trans woman and I want to be a girl, and I was very clear and thorough about it with my parents being involved at the age of 10 or 11, I still wouldn't have the chance. So that's what I'm trying to point out about. Like, मुझे नहीं खिलाना है मत खिलाओ, बट एक फेयर परफॉर्मेंस एनालिसिस बेस्ड कुछ लाओ, क्योंकि आई थिंक I'm trying to show that I'm not transitioning for an ulterior motive. I'm transitioning just to be me.
Yeah. How has your equation with love been? You know, I'm sure it's been complicated.
Yeah.
What was it like before transitioning? Did you try to have a relationship? You know, how did it kind of pan out, and how has it been after?
So before transitioning as well, like out of respect for my ex-partner, like I wouldn't like to talk much about it in detail, but from my experience, I would say that like for every trans person, it's different, and their love or sexuality aren't tied with gender. Gender and sexuality are two different things, but people tend to mix that. People tend to think that if you're into boys, then you're supposed to be a girl, like, which isn't the case, because all over nature, everywhere, it's been proven and shown that like sexuality is a very fluid thing. So, in terms of my experience, I would say that I was bisexual, although I hadn't come terms with myself during that point either. I was in a straight relationship, but with the persistent feelings of my transition, it didn't end up working out. And after transitioning as well, like I've been open to date, I've been open for love, but I find it very hard at this stage as well to accept myself having body image issues and a lot of things coming in play at this stage of my life. But I'm still open and hopeful for a partner who would understand that aspect and accept me for the way I am and truly see me as the girl I am.
Yeah. Have you tried dating, or are you still, like, let me just accept and love myself first and then kind of take that
I'm
step?
still trying to date, but again, like after having so much exposure as well and being so out and about of my life, I think it intimidates a lot of men out there. And most of the men try to keep a trans woman's experience in their life as a secret, as a hush hush thing, because they might be a laughing stock in society, because that's how the world is. Or even if someone were to accept me for the way I am, then that person has to deal with their family and their family's feelings towards someone like me, because I can't create offsprings. So maybe that's why I'm not useful enough, or whatever that is. Like that could go on in their heads. But yeah, I think in India it's quite hard for a trans woman to date and be accepted and loved openly.
How is your relationship with your family, relatives, close friends now?
Since the TV show, I'd say it's gotten much better, and it's getting better, I would say. Slowly with time. It takes time, you need to be patient, but it happens. It'll happen. And for me, I think it's still an ongoing process. So it's much better than it used to be, because now everyone in the world knows I've got nothing to be ashamed about. So I think it's easier for everyone else around me to understand and accept that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you feel when you saw the World Cup win that just happened? Did it make you feel like, maybe that can be me, or I want to be there? How did you feel?
Like I was watching it घर पे बैठ के TV पे with my family only, and as soon as India won the World Cup, like I was so happy, like so happy, because this is the moment that was Kapil Dev's moment back in 1983.
Yeah.
This is the moment right now playing in front of my eyes, and I just couldn't fathom the depth of it. Like I was so happy for Indian cricket, women's cricket, because now women's cricket is gonna blow up even more. It's gonna get even bigger than it used to be.
Yeah.
There's gonna be much more support, much more love. Like Indian daughters who wanna pursue cricket, their families will look at them and be like, "Oh, you can play cricket now." Like they'll also be supportive about that, because they've seen the result, and that result has been set by the current women's team that there is now. And kudos to like Jemima, Smriti Mandhana, and Chulan Goswami,
Yeah.
Mithali Raj, who have laid the seeds, who have sown the seeds much before than reaping the benefits of it as of now. That aspect I was really proud of, but there was another part of me which was also kind of sad, because whenever there's cricket playing on TV or anywhere else, I know that I have the skill, I have the will, but I don't have any place. I don't have any place to just prove myself. And even if I were to prove myself, I'm going to be mocked for uh, being a guy in my past life. So these were the two feelings that I felt
And
during
they're
that.
conflicting feelings,
Yes.
because and they're both very strong. So,
Yeah.
you're so happy, but you're also,
Yes.
why not me, almost.
Yeah.
Do you have other things that you want to pursue? What interests you?
What interests me is like being in the entertainment industry now.
Yeah.
Like I would like to act or
wow.
model. And I recently was part of a reality TV show as well called Rise and Fall. So I had a great experience in there. So I think I'm still navigating my journey. And I'm thinking, why can't it be Bollywood? Why can't it be cricket and activism, all three at the same time?
Yeah. We had Trinetra on the show.
Yes.
And she had just come out of Made in Heaven.
Yeah.
And she was like, I feel so good that I'm in front of the camera and
Yeah.
I'm fully bare. Like I have nothing left, to hide effectively. And that people are supporting the show and people are
Yes.
supporting me means everything. So I think that it's you can do and have it all. Like it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Exactly.
Most definitely. Yeah. When we were speaking about the women cricket team, right? On one end, you celebrate the athletes, you celebrate the sport. The second end, somebody like Spriti Mandana, her marriage is all over the news. And again,
Yeah.
the whole public angle of it became so almost like you're prying into what's happening behind closed doors. Do you think it's with women especially in leadership positions, it's so easy to forget the achievements and then focus on the noise? Or do you think it's with both?
I think it's with both because no matter what you do when you're playing cricket and are a cricketer at such a high and professional level, in India especially, in India, cricket is religion.
Yeah.
So people basically worship you if you're winning and playing for the country.
Forget winning the World Cup is
Exactly.
the biggest, yeah.
So no matter what you do, there's gonna be noise surrounding it. So I think it happens with everyone. Like I think that noise is also part of what I am and how much and whatever I'm doing in this country as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving forward, right? What do you see as this is my ideal life and I'm living it? Or do you feel that today?
My ideal life, again, it would be winning the World Cup for the Indian team for the next World Cup, hopefully. Doing that, maybe doing a movie as well at the same time, and just living a normal life as a goal.
Yeah.
Why can't it be all three?
Yeah. Do you feel good saying, like a girl, as a girl? Like, when was the first time you said it, and felt like, oh wow, it became my reality, things that you wanted?
When I started my hormones as well, and again, like having the backing of finances as well after having a few brand collabs during Pride Month, it helped me support myself for the two surgeries that I got, which is tracheal shave and breast augmentation. So the two surgeries, like if you can see, there's a scar here.
Yeah.
So they basically shave down your Adam's apple.
Oh, right.
So it's not that prominent. It's more of an aesthetic thing.
Correct.
And with hormones as well, like your body changes a lot, your skin softens, your breast development, the way your eyes look also change, your face shape changes, there's body fat redistribution, energy levels change, mood swings come in. Mood swings is what I'm figuring out right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, really? What are you experiencing that's different?
I think it's similar to how cisgender women have luteal phase, ovulation phase,
Yeah.
follicular phase. It's very similar to that, although during periods we don't bleed. But we have the same symptoms, like there might be bloating.
PMS.
Yes,
Got it.
like similar symptoms to that.
Got it. And what are you enjoying now, right? Like, tell me about your skincare routine,
Oh,
about your diet. What do you enjoy shopping for?
I love shopping for bags. I'm a
Okay.
huge designer bag. No,
Kind
I would
of
say.
girl. Yeah.
And I love a lot of brands out there, so I'm just I want to make my whole collection, I say. And also Indian traditional wear. Like I love shararas and lehengas. All the saris are very graceful, but lehengas and shararas are my favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm still understanding and exploring wardrobes, what looks good on me, what fits me best. I think it's the same as how a normal girl lives a life.
And what about your skincare routine?
About my skincare routine, I like to use retinol, niacinamide, sunscreen, and I have a vanity setup at my place. Earlier, it used to be like a computer setup, but now it's changed to a vanity setup and having shooting का सामान साथ में.
Yeah.
तो like I think that's how it's been so far, and I'm loving every bit of it because it feels true and real to me.
Yeah. And you're living with your family at
Yes,
this
I'm
point?
living with my family.
How's that experience? Like, how
I
do you...
think living with your family is one of the very crucial or key moments that if you're considering to transition, you should have, because your family is also going through, and they're also seeing you change every day. They see you happier and more in align with yourself every day. So I think that also makes them understand that our child is happy and more confident and more outspoken now, because I wasn't as outspoken as I am right now. So I think when a parent notices that, they also see that their child is truly happy.
Yeah.
So that really helps.
Yeah. Yeah. When you actually see it in front of your eyes, it's different from hearing about it.
Yeah.
Or when somebody says it, right?
Yes.
Like you feel like, okay, she just looks happy. So
Yeah.
what am I complaining about effectively in that sense? What's next? And what do you hope to kind of... I know we spoke about Bollywood, we spoke about all of those things, but what is in the immediate? What's exciting that we can talk about?
I want to keep it a mystery,
Okay.
but next year is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to help the community and the general public as well to be more aware and understanding about a trans person's experience. So what I'm about to do next year, I think it will touch upon that.
Yeah.
I've got a few more reality shows offered as well, but I think with what I'm going to do next, for me, that is more important as of now. Maybe I would think about that during mid or the end of next year.
Okay. That's exciting. So
Yeah.
something to look forward
Yes.
to. Okay. Awesome. What advice would you give to anybody who's watching, who's also feeling those feelings that how do I come out, or how do I accept wanting to transition?
I think accepting yourself and coming out is a part of it, and it's going to be very hard. For that, I would say that keep your own close circle, supportive circle, who understand you and will support you no matter what, who unconditionally will be there for you. As long as you find those people and you are in a very vulnerable phase of your life, that will be really helpful. But also keeping therapists and mental health counselors as well at the same time. I would say when you start medically transitioning, you're going to feel like the subtle changes that you notice in your skin or in your body, you're going to think, oh, these changes are coming, like it's going great, it's so nice. But you tend to forget how slow of a process this is, how patient you need to be, and how much the world around you is going to change now if you're transitioning from a boy to girl or a girl to boy, because the way the world treats both genders are very different.
Yeah.
So be patient, I would say, because it's a very slow process. And even I remember when I was noticing those changes on my body, I was like, oh wow, so abhi 1 mahine ya 2 mahine mein itna ho jayega, like 6 months mein itna hoga, I'm going to be so happy. But it takes time, and for every body, every journey is different. So don't try to compare yourself with other trans women and how they look. So yeah, try to take steps in your transition which helps you feel more in alignment with yourself rather than how the society thinks you should be. Gender is not about what's in your pants. Gender is how you feel about yourself and how you express yourself.
That's so well said.
Yeah.
And what would you say to the parents of children who want to transition?
I would say what I wished for to happen with me. I would say that. I would say, like, if parents are watching this, I would tell them that try to get more education about this. Don't try to think how the world is going to think of you. Try to think how your child is feeling. Because after you understand your child's pain and where they come from, the exterior world just doesn't feel like anything. Because you tend to think, you get very protective of your child, thinking like, how will my child sustain in this life and what's going to happen, how's the world going to treat them, which is bound to happen. But don't let that influence you to try to detransition and try to influence your child to not transition. Let the doctors be the best guide to it. They'll understand your child's triggers, everything. Like therapists, they do proper mental mapping, they do multiple tests on us to understand us completely and make sure that your child's emotional and physical well-being is looked after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll close with this question. Why the name Anaya?
At first, I had picked Ananya, and to be honest, I tried to think of a lot of names, but it just like, and I wanted it from A only because pehle like A se naam tha, and I think like I'm a very A kind of person. Like मुझे A से ही चाहिए नाम. तो first I thought अनन्या क्यों नहीं रखते. And first I was like ठीक है चल जाएगा अनन्या for a while, but as I was growing more and more into my transition, the name Anaya started making more sense to me. Like few of my friends were like, "Ki, Ananya doesn't seem like you. Like Anaya seems more like you." And I tried to sit with that thought for a while. But with the way I express myself and how I see myself, I think Anaya suits best.
Do you have girls' nights?
Girls' nights, I have plenty of those. Like I have a lot of friends like Maitri, Monica, and a lot of others like who we just decide to hang out together. We chill at nights, we go for late night drives, and we come home, watch movies, gossip a bit, order food, and just have a good time together. Like
Yeah.
we also love to go shopping together. And again, I'm a very luxury designer brand kind of girl, so we like to talk about what bag we're gonna get, or I like this watch, or like that jewelry. Kind of materialistic, I would say, but I'm guilty of it. What can I do?
And do you have guy friends who you hang out with? Or
Yes,
not?
I do. Like I speak to a few of my guy friends from UK, and I have childhood friends. His name is Dhruv. He's in Italy right now, so he's living his life there. I've got Yash, Param, multiple. So yeah, I do speak with them, and again, like I used to connect and bond with them more because my body was functioning that way. But after transitioning, it's more like I'm connecting emotionally with girls more now because I can understand how
Yeah.
it's like and how they can understand for me as well at the same time. So yeah.
Awesome. It's been so lovely chatting with you, Anaya. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. And we hope that it can help whoever's in this conflict,
Yes.
to get some kind of validation that if she can, I can. And also if parents are watching, to give them a little bit more context
Yes.
and to help them be more supportive. I think it's an important conversation to have. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We hope this episode added value to your lives. Join the Realign movement, like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.